I was 37 and I had it all. I started as a consultant at an employment agency at the age of 24, and in 13 years I managed to work myself up as a director. From the outside, everything was perfect. From the inside, however, I was feeling insecure. I had a lot of doubts, and I wondered if everything I did was good enough. After all, things can always be done better. And my reaction to that feeling of inadequacy was working even harder, making even longer days, and trying to be the perfect example to everyone I worked with. In 2011, there was a reorganization within the company I worked for, and I was given 3 options: stay at my current position as a director, move to one of the other operating companies, or leave and take redundancy. And I will never forget the feeling I had at that day I was given these 3 options. I was driving my big fancy car to my next appointment, and I said to myself, the thing that is happening to you at this moment, this is so important. This is the moment I knew that that day the opportunity occurred for me to change the way I lived. To take a period of rest after a lot of years of hard work and reflect on what to do with the rest of my life. So I chose the 3rd option and left the company. And on the 1st of August of 2011, my sabbatical started. I took a vacation with my family and started thinking about my future. From my network, some employment opportunities passed by, but none of them matched with that feeling I had on that day driving my big fancy car earlier that year. I missed something. I didn't exactly know what it was I missed, and that feeling I didn't like. And that's how the journey started, during which I learned how to do the things by the heart instead of the head. Something I think is the only way for us to create a sustainable future for the 9 billion in 2050. And after another holiday, I decided to start my own company, because something told me that the limitations of an employer wouldn't help me find my own passion. And at that day that I chose to start my own company, I knew 2 things. I want to build an actual business, and the thing I'm going to do has to be about corporate relations. Let's go, I thought. But that's not how it went. Because how nice it was that I knew what my company was going to be about, I had not any clue of what I was going to do. And that made me so ashamed of myself. There I was, the almost perfect Rianne, with an answer to almost everything, with my good results, my nice CV, standing there and not knowing what to do. I felt like such a loser. But despite the feeling of me being such a loser because of some events in my personal life, I allowed myself the year 2012 to find out what my company was going to be about. And besides, I was fortunate that my network offered me some opportunities, so I was asked to do some business to advise in some business issues. So I had my income covered, and there was space for me to search for what my business was going to be about. And as time went by in 2012, I learned about my motives at a training course. And I discovered that what motivates me to do the things I'm doing is my belief in a pleasant world. A pleasant world where people feel committed to. In practice, I was very busy, as before, working long hours for my clients. My thoughts were never about the fundamentals of my own business. And in the summer of 2012, I realized that I wouldn't discover it also if I didn't change some things. And realizing this went parallel with the fact that I saw that my clients became dependent of me. And I didn't like that feeling. I felt stuck. And the issues I helped my clients with were all about the problems in the relationships between them and their clients. Most of the time because of a lack of common interests. And practical as I am, I thought, what if I manage to analyze that what I'm doing and turn that into something I can teach to other people? That would give me the fundament of my own business, and it would make my clients independent of me. So I looked at what I was doing and managed to put that down and turn that into my own model and write a book about it, which gave me the opportunity to share my passion and knowledge with more companies than the ones I was working with directly. Hooray! The fundament of my business was born. But I was wrong. That November, I learned about the work of Brené Brown. She's an American research professor specializing in shame and vulnerability. And she has one of the most famous TED Talks to her name. And her research added a complete new dimension to my insights. I discovered that a common interest, which I think is the basis of a successful relation, can't exist if I don't know my own interests. And not knowing my own interests was very confronting to me. I started searching for them, and I can tell you that wasn't easy. I don't think I have ever cried as much as I did after the day I realized that connecting with the other started with connecting to myself. Because connecting to myself meant that I had to get to know, like, and trust myself, with everything nice and not so nice about me. And that was very scary. From the work of Brené Brown, I learned that it takes courage to stand up and let yourself be seen. And because of my belief in a pleasant world, together with a deep feeling that I want to make a change, I worked on finding that courage. And during that process, I learned that my feeling of not being enough came from my head, and that the feeling of being enough comes from my heart. And I realized that almost all of the problems I find within the companies and the people I work with have to do about being not enough or having not enough. We need more clients, we want a bigger car, and we think we have to work harder. The effect of this is that we think we cannot show ourselves and show who we really are or what a company is really capable of. We make up beautiful stories and make promises to get our job or assignment. But after a while, things go wrong, and companies and people get disappointed in each other. Results are going down, we start reorganizing the businesses and so on. And we prefer doing all that instead of taking a look at ourselves and what we are here for. And Paulo Coelho wrote something beautifully in his book, The Alchemist. There is in the world a language that everyone understands. The language of enthusiasm, of things you do with your heart and soul. Looking for what you want or what you believe. And that's why I'm standing here, sharing my story with you, asking you to join me and find the courage to connect. So we can create a pleasant world for ourselves now and the 9 billion in 2050. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rianne.